Jenners. This is the 2002 4Runner we're working on today. When I purchased it originally, it had a check engine light. The person I purchased it from had put it on an OBD scanner. Code that was coming up was PO420, which is usually going back to something cat-wise, O2 sensor-wise, exhaust-wise. First thought was maybe it was something with the cat, but when we first took a look at it, the muffler had a pretty sizable hole in it. It was pretty well rusted. We did end up replacing that with a Magnaflow BRExhaust, I believe. We'll take a look here. Went ahead and did that. Of course, the nuts and bolts were pretty well toasted. Those had to be heated up and broken off, cut out. Thankfully, they provided hardware for that. But while we were doing all that work, just kind of decided that might as well go ahead and do the cats while we're under here, just because they are old, they're pretty toasty. You know, I'm sure at some point they will go, so why not just do it all while we're here, just kind of take a look at those. In the process of taking those off, thankfully, we were able to salvage the old bolts without breaking anything. This is Jay. Jay is doing our work for us on this project. His shop is out in Pataskala if anyone needs work done on their vehicles.
Eggleberry Automotive, I'm on Facebook.
Eggleberry Automotive. You can look them up on Facebook.
E-O-B-R-Y.
Yep. And we are just taking off the old ones here. We'll follow up here in a couple minutes. Once we get these off and start putting the new ones on. All right, here's where the cats used to be. They are taken out. Let's see up in there where they attach to the manifold. Yeah, O2 sensor hanging off there. These are the old cats. Surprisingly, they didn't look too terrible. I guess the was it the front side of the rear cat was the better?
Was the yes. This is the front. This is the front. No, that's incorrect.
That's the first. That's the second. Yeah. Anyways, they were
not terrible.
looked. Yeah.
Not new, but not terrible. Definitely 20 years old.
Yep. So that's the old one. New ones, I'm not sure if I pointed them out, but also ordered these. They are replacements from Magnaflow. First cat. Let's see, the second one's in the box over here. Have all the new gaskets that come with them. Did not come with the hardware though, so if you have to replace the bolts, you will have to go to a hardware store and find said bolts. I came pretty close. Couldn't find the exact size. The ones are a little longer, but shouldn't be a big deal. Surprisingly, we salvaged most of the ones from the old cat, but if we're replacing the cats, let's just put new hardware on too. So we'll move to that next.
I'm terrible.
All right, so we've got this rear cat we're putting on. There's a little bit of an issue maybe to kind of look for if you purchase one of these. I'll let Jay explain it. It's supposed to be a Magnaflow.
Or Magnaflow?
Yeah. So
well, these are sent out with two style flanges on it built into one. You have the bolt-in O2 sensor, which is your front style O2 sensor, and then the inside of that flange is threaded for the rear O2 sensor, which is a thread-in sensor, not a bolt-in. When they had welded this flange in, I don't know if you can get in here, they had over-welded it so that if you did have a bolt-in sensor, it would run into that piece of weld and it would have ended up cross-threading that sensor in. So we're just going to take and run a tap through it and cut all that out. It's not bad practice with any exhaust work to run a tap through it just to save you the $80 for a new O2 sensor. But yeah, if it wouldn't have made it down or made it all the way down or tightened up. See, cut through that.
I don't know if you took a look at the front cat, same deal, or
Well, the front cat actually isn't threaded in the middle, so that one was built for one type of O2 sensor. I can look and make sure they didn't overweld that. Clean it all up. Now that's actually got threads all the way through it, so it'll even hold it down tighter.
perfect.
Perfect.
All right, got the cats mounted up here, putting all the bolts together. Try to put a list together at the end here of what we ended up having. We had to get, which didn't come with. You go through the hardware at the end and see what we actually had to use. I kind of got everything just to make sure I had what we needed. So basically just pretty easy. Just mount it up there, throw your gaskets in between, and start bolting everything together. Try not to drop too much.
If you can hold on to things, it's easy.
Did go through and clean all the O2 sensors off too before we install them back in.
Hey gang, it's been a couple months since we finished the project on the 4Runner, replacing the exhaust and the catalytic converters. I didn't get a chance to do a follow-up video to show you all the hardware that you're going to need to do this project if you do buy the Magnaflow catalytic converters. It was just kind of cold weather, real rainy for a while, and I just got busy. So we're following it up finally. Going to climb under the truck, kind of show you what you need. Might be a hardware store visit or just going on to a OEM parts dealer or dealership to order these items, but we'll climb underneath, kind of give you a quick inventory for those. All right, we've climbed underneath, and here we have cat number one. If we follow that up, it connects to the exhaust manifold. And on that manifold, there are 3 bolts, or 3 studs actually, that are welded off of that. When you take off the catalytic converter, I'm guessing those bolts on the back of the studs are going to break, or you should probably just replace them because they're old. Those are flanged on there. You'll need 3 of those. And if we come back to the O2 sensor, that will screw in. Again, you have 2 studs that are welded into the port for the catalytic converter. You'll need to get the proper nuts for those. I believe all these studs and all of these bolts that you are connecting to are an M10. If you roll back here to where cat number 1, a cat attaches to cat number 2, I know these are an M10 1.25. That's what they say to use. Unfortunately, my hardware store did not have a 1.25, only had a 1.5. So I got those. They're a little longer. It's not a big deal. And then again, got the nuts to go onto the back of those. Everything I bought was stainless steel, just hoping that holds up a little better, a little longer. And then if we go to the back end of the second cat, That O2 sensor, there are studs that are welded into that, but you don't need to bolt those in because O2 sensor number bank 2 actually just screws in. So not sure why they put that on there, but no big deal. And then if you did buy the Magnaflow exhaust, it did give you the actual bolts to attach the exhaust to catalytic converter number 2. So yeah, don't need much then. I just dragged a couple of these parts into the hardware store. Roush Hardware, if you're in Columbus, Ohio, has everything. So yeah, just a couple bolts themselves, and then how many actual nuts did we need here? 3 from the exhaust manifold, 2 for the O2 port bank 1, and then 2 there. Wanted to hop in the truck, start it up for you just to kind of show you how it runs after the exhaust replacement. It is a little louder than stock, not a big deal though, but we did clear the code on the computer, and it's been like 3 months, still hasn't come back on, so we're good there. That took care of the issue. And look at that, after all these years, my power antenna still works too. 23 years and counting. So, start it up, no codes, no check engine lights. Exhaust is running, start it up. It is a little louder than stock, but runs pretty well so far. So, good luck to you in your projects and happy trails.